Hello, beautiful beings. This is Gypsy Jess with the Art of Tarot, and today my reading for you is going to be an overall energy check-in, but it's going to be aimed towards the feminine energy. Now, mind you, that does not necessarily mean that is for those of you who are only female in body. Okay, so don't click off if you are a man watching this. It just means that perhaps there are messages in regards to your feminine energy within you or around you that apply to your situation. Now, if not, go ahead and click off. No big deal. But before we get started, I'd like you all to take a nice big deep breath and relax. For those of you who are new to me, I'm traveling, so I'm limited on my decks. And when I'm limited, that means new decks. And in front of you, I have my newest Oracle deck, the Divine Animals Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Beautiful artistry on this one, so I'm super excited to read for you right now with it. And in that regard, these are timeless readings, so whenever you're finding them, they should pertain to you, but keep in mind that time is, not a real thing, right? So this can pertain to a past situation, a current situation, or a future situation. Usually within a 3 to 6 month time frame, up to a year. That's, I would say, the norm of the incoming energies. But there have been readings where I've gotten them. There's a few that stick out in my mind that stuck in my mind for, a 7-year journey I was on, and one day I was like, oh my gosh, that's what that reading was about, and they stuck very vividly in my mind for that reason. So, not saying that's the case, but for some of you, because I'm bringing up, maybe there's something to do with 7 years, 7 months. 7 might be an important number for you. So, on that note, again, take a nice big deep breath and give yourself permission to be open. Open to any symbols, any signs, whether that be animals, gods or goddesses, songs, phrases that might come through that help you ground the message as your own, right? And that may be pieces or the whole thing, right? That's okay. It's a collective message. If the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. Also, everything that happens in the reading on my end or your end when you're watching this is part of the reading. So don't disregard if you are interrupted at a certain point or something happens. Take that into consideration, right? You see something, a bird flies to the window. These can all be messages from Spirit trying to get you to pay attention. These are not coincidences, okay? And if you truly believe that, you wouldn't be watching a tarot reading, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I've already given these a shuffle, but I know, like me, a lot of people like to see that shuffle, so we're going to do it again. Ooh, that was a difficult shuffle there. Ooh, try that again. Let's try that again. New cards, so sometimes they're a little sticky. There we go. As I said, I'm traveling a bit further east than where I normally live, and today is finally a nice, warm, lovely day outside. Had some beautiful skies this morning after fog the last few days, and perhaps I'm saying that because perhaps some fog, some illusion is lifting for some folks. Perhaps not, but I do feel that anything I say or think of during my readings is pertinent to some life, so perhaps a sense of illusion, a revealing is happening, some clear sight, clear vision, clear knowing. So let's see. We're going to take 3 cards for overall energy from this new Divine Animal Oracle, and I'm so excited for you to see the imagery because it is so beautiful. Good job, Stacey DeMarco. She has other decks as well. But this is my first Stacey deck. So let's see. Spirit, what is our collective message for the divine feminine energy? What does the divine feminine energy in our collective need to hear right now? Jess. Oh, 21, this reduces to 3. This is the Empress. This is a special place in my heart. The Lioness is a totem creature of mine that I've resonated with for a very long time. You know, roots in Africa, obviously, but when it comes to Lioness, she's wise, she's strategic, and protection is what this particular card says. But remember, this is someone who, yes, when we think of lions, we think of the king of the jungle, right? We think of the male lion, but the lionesses are the ones that do the hunting. They take care of the young. They take care of the young of the other lionesses in the pride, because they know that's what's best for the future of the pride, future of the family. They rest during the day, they conserve their energy, and then they hunt at night. They are calm but fierce. They are simple yet highly strategic. They're graceful, and just an incredibly powerful totem creature. And this particular one with the, I believe it's Lyrian star seeds is what attached to that. I don't know why that came through right now, but perhaps you have some lineage or some connection to that. But it's also related, but this is why, because it's related to the African or the Egyptian goddess of Sekhmet. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but which is more closely related to the cat energy. But something to keep in mind with their seers in the dark. Also the Ankh being predominant there. Path to the left and the right way. And the whole spiritual evolution. Perhaps the Ankh is a sign for you. If it's not and it draws you in, perhaps look that up. Meerkat, another African animal. So we have a lot of African energy here. 16, this reduces to 7, that spirit. A lot of other animals here. We have the white tiger, leopard, the hyena, camels, zebra, responsibility. So you may have a heavy tie to Africa right now, or historically. This deck has got animals from all over the world. Peacock, interesting. That came out in my last reading, so perhaps this is connected. Peacock is about prosperity. So we have protection, responsibility, and prosperity as our overall energies here. An animal is very different in body. Okay. From large to small to flamboyant and abundant. But pride comes through. Even this little meerkat here. See how he stands with his head up and he's got his little, it's almost like he's holding a staff and he's managing these animals. Right? He's standing on the back of the hyena. And the hyena symbolizes fear. And you may be overcoming fear and standing proud, right? Proud like the peacock. Strong like the lioness. Over some fear, mastery of fear. And you may have had to take on many forms to do that. Let's see. I'm gonna get some more energy here. I'm curious now. We're gonna get some more oracle, and then I'll start to pull tarot. But I get a sense of, like I said, a lifting of illusion here. And fear is an illusion. Okay? Fear is an illusion. And what's interesting about this card is there's little buckets of paint, right? And the meerkat stands on the back of the hyena with a bucket of paint and a little crown, right? Crown also like our lioness here. So strong Empress energy coming through, like beautiful energy. And one that works as a piece of the whole. I mean, meerkats work very closely with their family union in order to survive. And they have their own subtle language and signs in order to signal each other. But this little meerkat has kind kind of mastered its environment here. And perhaps that speaks to you on some level. But I'm getting Empress energy and just a beautiful, proud, strategic energy here. A wise energy. Death and rebirth. And how appropriate that should come up with the lioness as it relates to this African, this Egyptian culture that she's wearing here. Protection even in death. Emotional release. Taking responsibility for one's emotion. A rebirth here. A rebirth into emotional release and responsibility. And with the death and the protection, I get the feeling that I'm speaking to someone who's gone through a death and a rebirth here, who's taken responsibility for their own emotions, and who's coming around to another cycle in life, a new cycle, and really shining. I get a glow up, honestly, especially with that peacock at the end of that, with the wise woman and the third eye, and kind of lightened with that pink energy, right? Usually we see the third eye as like a purple, like chakra energy, but this pink, and this has come up several times in the readings recently, is a healing color. So if you meditate, you do healing meditations, that pink flame and the violet flame, these are really powerful healing meditations. Look them up on YouTube if you're unfamiliar and if it calls to you, speaks to you. But I get someone who's taken responsibility for maybe their old self, right? Their actions. And now are being far more strategic, more elegant, more grounded in their behaviors, who've mastered their fears. And now, rather than working against the community, is working with the community. Even though you may feel this is new and small, right? It doesn't matter how small you may even be petite in stature. Feeling like a king or a queen. Feeling like the lioness. For some reason, I'm picturing just a tiny person with this huge energy. Or perhaps this is actually how you look on the outside and feel a bit more like this on the inside, right? Maybe you're strong and beautiful and, you know, lithe on the outside, but you feel soft and petite, maybe even a bit vulnerable on the inside. But this fear around this, there's some mastery taking place here, and now there's a creation of one's own reality. Spirit, give me another one here. I do apologize. Like I said, I'm traveling, so I have limited decks. I do love to do layered readings, so be a little shorter today. Abundance coming up right under that prosperity peacock. So just affirming someone mastering themselves, and now creating a new reality that's in abundance, creating that reality from their own inner vision, right? Mastering that fear and overcoming illusion, releasing the emotion. I say negative emotions, but all emotions are intended, 1414, when I said that all emotions are intended to move us along some way or other. Fear has its purpose, anger has its purpose. We consider these negative emotions, but these are opportunities for learning. And that's what we see in the death cycle, the death and rebirth, that 8, that returning to places that we've been before, not because we haven't grown or changed, but now we have the opportunity to see it from a new perspective. And a whole lot of abundance coming in because of it. When prosperity and then abundance come up right underneath one another as an affirmation, to me that's a very clear sign, a very, very clear sign, as I say at the bottom of the deck, discernment. that this is someone who's mastering themselves, who stands out amongst the crowd, right? Who's understanding the difference between a triggering emotion and taking responsibility for that and their own healing, right? And turning that into power, pain into power, pain into power, into prosperity. Let's get some more oracle. I'm feeling energized, so excited. I'm definitely tapping into someone whose heart space is opening, who's attracting into them and manifesting consciously. And the Empress, she is the master of her realm. She is the heaviest influencer, whereas the Emperor, he's the heaviest action. And that's why they're the married couple, 1551, when I said that. Spirit. Ooh, whole chunk just flipped over there. I'm going to take that as a lot that wants to come out. Give me a little bit more insight into this particular individual that I'm tapping into through all time and space. 34. Fish. You may be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But this to me also lends to deep emotion. K, your name may start with a K. Fish, also, you know, a historically Christian symbol. And I want to relate that to a Christ consciousness, a unity with the whole. And I'm going to take that back to that lifting of illusion here. Right? When you are one with everything, you know that all things are available to you. And you start to escape that false reality of fear. You overcome that and take responsibility for all those things that maybe brought you there. There is a whole new rebirth that happens. Whew, this is just coming out of me right now. I don't know who this is for, but light coming through to the depths. And that's part of that emotional release, right? We have water here in emotional release. 34 and 37. Whoop. A couple flipped over there, so I'm not going to take them. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. 37 on top of 37. 10 and 10 cycles. And now we have birds coming through. We've got the rooster, perhaps a golden, like a golden finch of sorts, goldfinch. The time, all different manners of measuring time, right? Through all time and space. And science, the candle, a clock, a cuckoo clock. These are all different ways of measuring time. And time, as I said at the beginning, is an illusion. And perhaps you feel like you're running out of time, or perhaps you're opening to that, the illusion of time, right? And the fact of the matter is, we create our own reality. We do. And perhaps that's what you're taking responsibility for. And you have time to build, you have time to rebuild, you have time to change anything that's not working and release the old, to master your environment and co-create with the consciousness around you, with the collective consciousness. And it's your choice. Do you create with the collective consciousness based in fear, right? Or do you co-create with the collective consciousness based in light and love? Oh, it just flipped over there. So as I was recording that just then, my camera ran out of space, and perhaps that was it. That was all the message you needed, and you can click off right now. Or perhaps you're feeling full, you're feeling overwhelmed. But what was coming up next there is the little puppy dog there, the leash. You may be an extremely loyal person, right? An extremely loyal person, and just wanting to be loved. See, he's got his leash there and his little ball. Just want to play, just want to be taken for a walk. And with that coming in with the prosperity, that to me says just make sure that you're examining who your loyalties are to. Are they to yourself? Are they to other people that have your best interests in mind? And be careful who we give that leash to, right? Be careful who we give that leash to. I completely lost my train of thought as to what I was just saying just then. That's what happens when you get in the flow. So we're going to pull out some tarot, and you can leave me messages down in the comments regarding what you took from that first little portion there. All right, now Spirit, tell me what this particular Divine Feminine needs to go and know in terms of this ooh, Six of Pentacles in reverse, unbalanced situation. Oh. This particular situation moving forward. Knight of Cups. Some more Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer energy coming up. The Knight of Cups, that's big Pisces energy though. And without going, we have a beaver. It's either a crane or an ibis. I think a crane. Popping up there in terms of signs. 0202 on the time when I said that. 10 of Cups. Okay. So what's interesting here is where at the bottom we have all this prosperity showing up, on top we see the 10 of Cups in reverse. This is emotional fulfillment. This is the whole everything, the whole package. In terms of emotions, emotional release, we've got the Knight of Cups coming in, and you know, he can be triggered by love and passion and sacral, you know, sexual energy here in terms of coming forward. But it seems that whatever this is, whatever fear has been mastered, whatever death cycle has happened here, has come from an unequal investment. I would guess that this might have been in love, based on, you know, the 10 of Cups being here, the 6 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups, which is about emotion, right? An emotional release and emotional purging. But I see this as someone who is moving forward and taking responsibility for their emotions and for their participation in whatever events, right, or giving them this sense of time, this sense of desire to move forward. But it came from an unequal situation, whether that be in work or love. I'm not sure, but there seems to be some sort of loss or blockage, perhaps even that fear around not receiving this 10 of Cups, right? And I say that is also related to love with this little dog here, because we have prosperity and prosperity, abundance and prosperity underneath here, and then we've got this sad looking little pup. And with the 18, that reduces to 9, but we also have this 10 here. So to me, this is someone who's transitioning between that happiness of independence, right? The 9 of Cups, right? So someone who's fully happy being on their own, doing their own thing, and the 10 of heart, the 10 of emotions, right? Of love. Bingo. So perhaps you feel like this is unavailable to you right now, but if it wasn't, it wouldn't be showing up. But this little guy who just wants to be loved, right, and is willing to jump into things to try, definitely has a history of going into unequal situations, unequal give and take in order to receive this. So an energy here of warning to be mindful. This happiness, this fulfillment, this rainbow, this prosperity is all available to you. It's all within your realm of awareness. But you have to make sure that you are truly and fully, I say fully, right? Because we all get lonely, but that you're going into a relationship, right? Because knights like to rush into things, especially when they feel passionate about love, you know, their emotions, like, ooh, I like you so much, just like a puppy, right? Ooh, wagging its tail, so excited about my belly. But make sure you're going into something and handing that leash, handing your emotions, handing your trust to someone carefully, right? You're not just rushing into something because you're ready to get to that 10 of Cups. That you are going in with eyes wide open, right? Eyes wide open. Eye wide open. Taking away all the illusion of what you want something to look like, or painting a person of what you want something to look like, anyone's potential, right? And looking at them for who they absolutely are, seeing them, right? When you get that gut feeling, right, when you meet someone and you're like, oh no, this is a bad idea, and then you do it anyway, it's because you didn't listen to this. And then the only person you have to blame is yourself, and that's where you have to take responsibility. Ooh. Right, I guess some messages coming out today for our divine feminines. And remember, that can be for our masculine and body, that I'm speaking to their divine feminine energies and tendencies. Ooh, what just flew out here? 3 of them. That's funny. So we have our Empress, our Lioness that we started with, our Page of Pentacles, and the Peacock. Oh, how funny. Which is the investment piece, and the King of Cups. So here we have the Knight of Cups, who's now progressed into the King of Cups. This is also Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So we have a maturity and evolution happening here, right? Someone who's taken responsibility for their behavior, for their emotions, and they're coming from a grounded space, okay? Fair, open, loving, and balanced. Remember the seahorse here that's pictured in the background. The males are the ones that actually, if I recall, if I'm saying this correctly, are the ones that give birth and protect the babies. The moms, they go off and they do their thing. And that little triangle that you see, when the triangle's pointed down, that's feminine energy, all right? When the triangle's pointed up, that's masculine energy, and it's 2 together that co-create and balance. That's where we get the 5 points, or yes, I'm saying that, that's star, that's sacred geometry. There's an actual name for that, and I can't think of it at the moment. But that's balance, right? Balance in the waves. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Not in emotions, but just that balance is not submerged in it, okay? And then here we have the Peacock showing up again on top of each other, right, with that new investment. And that's got to be a huge sink for someone, that Peacock. The Lioness, again, we've got the rabbit, the deer. But to me, this is a beautiful pairing, right? A beautiful pairing that's available, right? But this particular reading was designed to speak to the divine feminine specifically. And with the Peacock coming up here, speaking of prosperity, of abundance, over and over and over again. And this, the Page of Pentacles, it's a call, an invitation to look at where you are investing your heart, right? To get to that 10 of Pentacles, where you're investing your time, right? Just because it looks beautiful, Peacock, right? Just because it looks beautiful doesn't mean it's necessarily the right partner, the right fit, right? All that glitters is not gold. And please look up the Peacock more if you align with that. And like I said, you may be very beautiful. The Empress showing up here twice now in that Lioness energy, and in her full upright self, speaks to me of someone who's beautiful, who's connected to nature, who's their finances, their spiritual self, they're grounded. She's the mother archetype. She is the creation of life. She's Mother Earth, right? We see all that green. She's the heart, right? And I feel like with, again, this Knight of Cups to King of Cups progression happening here, that you're being told, you're being recommended by Spirit to be a guardian of your heart, right? That loyal, beautiful, giving, kind heart that you have for it is the wellspring of life. You know, I think of, you know, Moana, if you've seen that movie, which is a beautiful example of divine masculine healing, both in the human realm and with the earth. If you haven't seen that, watch it. But that's what it makes me think of, you know. What is it? Te Fiti is the angry volcano, right? The destruction. And, gosh, what's the... And then there's the... Oh, I can't think of her name. But the happy form of her, the restored heart version of her, is where all of life well springs from. And this right here is healing that feminine energy, because yes, the King of Cups is showing as a masculine here, but with that triangle pointed down, that speaks to the feminine self. So this is taking responsibility for your emotions and for any illusion that you are a victim, right? Right? You're not a victim. Right? You are not a victim, but you are responsible, your responsibility, for protecting your own heart and investing in things that are healthy for you. Right? Healthy for that little guy. That space in between emotional and physical independence and that 10-cup fulfillment. And I feel I'm speaking to someone who's right there. Good in career, good in life, good in school, educated, beautiful, but it's just wanting that other piece, that partner. And you're just being asked to be mindful that when you enter into something, it's not just because of how beautiful it looks on the outside. You know, some hunky person, male or female, it doesn't matter. That you're really taking responsibility for your emotional state, and you're not painting someone, painting, just like our little meerkat at the beginning, painting someone a different color. You're not painting zebra stripes on a tiger, right? You're seeing them for seeing them with your heart for who they truly are, not their potential. Woo, just coming out hot today. Now on that note, 1313 when I said that, I'm going to give a little bit of guidance going forward, because I feel the message is pretty clear here, and that's a pretty strong message in itself. And I'm speaking to someone who is very strong and aware and vibrant. Just a vibrant energy here, a rebirth. Like I said, a glow up. I definitely got a glow up coming through, and that in itself is going to attract people, right? And sometimes the light attracts the moths. Woo! Ooh, girl or guy. Look at it. False twin flame. Death and rebirth. Intense change. So with this glow up, the light will attract moths. And something can look beautiful on the outside, right? That eagle, it can look like it is the divine masculine that you seek, but it is not, right? And that's why you're being asked to be very mindful of this new creative, powerful, grounded energy that you're creating in your life. And you don't give the reins to someone who's going to abuse the puppy, right? That soft little meerkat within you. Of course, they're going to be attracted to the lioness. Lord knows every narcissist in the world is, because they want to steal your power. They want to steal your gift. And this is a beautiful warning, a beautiful warning. All that glitters is not gold, my love. And perhaps that's why that Moana picture came into my mind, is because, you know, like I said, that's a healing story between both the human, masculine, feminine self, you know, one god stealing from a goddess. And what that does? That poisons her heart. She becomes this angry volcano versus this wellspring of life and love. And perhaps that's been your story in the past, but like I said before, this is something that you have to take responsibility for. Your emotions and your choices in the past, and the fact that you didn't maybe in the past listen to your internal knowing, and now I'm guessing you're feeling steady and you're having this glow up again and you're ready to invest, but you're being asked to be mindful of it. You're being asked to be mindful of it. And this could have very well been a catalyst for that, right? And caused a death and rebirth, because we did have that Six of Pentacles, an unequal give and take, which can be a catalyst for a beautiful change. The eagle is signed for a divine masculine, but it's also synonymous with the phoenix, right? Who rises from the ashes. And if you're someone who's risen from the ashes, probably more than once, of course, you're in the midst of this beautiful glow up. Just be mindful of the moths. The moths will always be attracted to that flame. You want to wait for the real thing. You want to wait for the real thing. And the real thing is hardly ever that wildly intense, unstable initial attraction. That false fiery flame that comes in. Oh, that's not it. Unification. There's that 9 again, right? We're right back here, aligning with abundance. 9 to 10. Like I said, I'm speaking to someone who's in that space right before that emotional fulfillment, that full abundance. You are aligning with it right now. You're balancing that inner masculine and feminine, right? That's why that King of Cups came up. Because that 10 of Cups is coming in and is available to you. It's the next step. You're in the union with self process. And you're doing beautifully. That 10, that's the next step. And it's a lovely message to receive. And see, that's okay. So remember at the beginning when I said, I pointed out that downward facing triangle was the feminine. Here's that symbol again with the overlapping masculine, that pointing up triangle. So look up that symbol. But what it's about is the unification of the divine masculine feminine, first within ourselves, then outwardly within the world. And that's ultimately, like I say, I keep bringing up the story of Moana for whatever reason. Also what that story is about. It's not just about, the human to human healing and balance, which then reflects in the world and our relationship to the world, right? That's healing relationship with Mother Earth. Well, then that stretches beyond that. It's a consciousness, right? A healing relationship with all things. Rebirth. Personal freedom unleashed. Here we go. Death and rebirth. It's right there. That butterfly. Butterfly right there. Love it when it lines up like that. The Art of Tarot. It's a beautiful thing. But this is 7. This is spirit. Personal freedom unleashed. It's just like we talked about before. It's spirit reminding you that you've worked so hard to get out of that healing cocoon. And now you're getting strength in your wings. And you're supposed to fly and really enjoy that freedom of being lifted from the illusion, right? Being lifted from the illusion. That unification that happens within oneself between 9 and 10. 9, that personal freedom. Good on their own 2 feet. 10, that emotional fulfillment. And this glow up, this beautiful glow up, and I definitely get glow up energy here. That's what's happening. And now you're being asked to stretch those wings and fly, all on your own. Beautiful monarch butterfly transformation. But be mindful of this false twin flame, the eagle, that's going to snatch that butterfly right out of the sky. Okay? Be mindful of who you let into your energy and your space. The heart is the wellspring of life, my love. And that, Bill, is going to be one of our last ones. I'm going to pull one more here. One more. Spirit, give me a closing message for my beautiful divine feminine energies watching right now. Path of least resistance. Choose ease and grace. So we have 2 doors here, right? 8, we can repeat the cycle and go into that dark death, right? We can choose, we can go against our intuition, choose that false twin flame, and go down the path of darkness again, right? Which is fine. Some of us need that. Or we can choose the path of life, of light, of least resistance, ease and grace, and go with the transformation that's happening right now. That beautiful glow up. Butterflies, again, a huge sync. Peacocks and butterflies, a huge sync for this reading right now. Don't be surprised if you see that in the next few days. But you're being asked to follow what's happening right now and take responsibility for this growth. Sorry, I giggle because the card just fell on the floor, and it was the 1111 Twin Flame card, and that's, you know, that's who I read for. So I giggle because you know, my channel is still new, and that was at the encouragement of my twin flame, who I finally came into unification with after 7 years, as I said at the beginning of this. And when you get there, when you find the right one, right, when you come into unification with yourself, rather than fight it, fight the lessons, learn the lessons instead of repeating them over and over and over again, which sometimes you have to, okay? So don't beat yourself up. But it doesn't always have to be hard, right? The change doesn't always have to be hard. We don't have to learn the lesson over and over again. We can escape the cocoon and we can go and fly. And that will lead us right to where we need to be. And that's to that 10 of Cups. Right. All the butterflies. You're being led there. You're being led there, my love. So release that fear. Take responsibility for yourself and your choices. And try to choose the path of least resistance here. Embrace all those feelings, all that emotion. And it's time to fly. It's time to fly. I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.